California Institute of Technology published a study claiming they have discovered a true ninth planet beyond Pluto.
Yep.
Ancient astronaut theorists suggest
They just found
the
it.
evidence that
Here recently.
extraterrestrials visited Earth is all around us, and say that with new technology, we are uncovering more proof than ever before.
Liquid water has been found on Mars. NASA's Hubble Space Telescope have made independent confirmations in the hunt for extrasolar planets.
Lisa 581. This would. Wells Fargo has donated over $745 million to help address housing access and affordability.
This one down. Brawler takes on Wing Chun Master. This one should be good. This can be good. We love armchair quarterbacking stuff because that's what we do in today's day and age. And if we're going to keep putting Wing Chun online, then somebody's going to have to be the one to go out there and say, this is garbage. Please don't put this out there as a representative of our art. If you do, I might have to come out of retirement and kick your ass. I don't know. Don't forget to go to patreon.com. Check out our Izzo Wing Chun Great Martial Arts Training Hall. We do the first Wednesday of the month. Tuesday. First Tuesday of the month. We come together. We have a great conversation about all things passion. It's been some great guys talking about judo, talking about karate, talking about all sorts of. I mean, it's been a great last couple of conversations. If you miss them, you can go check them out on our channel here on YouTube. Check that out. All right. This is Brawler takes on Wing Chun Master from the Scrapyard YouTube channel. This is 2 years ago. Let's take a look. Let's watch this together and see what kind of Wing Chun we got in this. All right. So we got Zhao Long, 5'8", 140, 29 years old, record 101. Okay. Then we got Peanut, 5'7". All right. Wouldn't it be greater if you guys were able to see me that entire time? Peanut, 5'7". Representing the 5'7" Kings out there, my man. I appreciate that one. They're 36 years old and 0-0. So I mean, we'll take a look at this together and see how this goes and see what kind of Wing Chun we see.
Yo, I see y'all.
I got called Bruce Leroy earlier, so I'm gonna try to make it glow out here.
What's up, Utila? Hey, Benny.
The bottom club.
We got an MMA match bout.
Do you support?
Shout out to the sponsors. If you showed up premium.
No, I don't support that nigga, man. He had them before he give him all that damn money. He still broke. No.
Right, going into this, before we even get into this, we know what's going to happen is that we got people who are going to want to see Wing Chun, and that's always the problem. Now, that's not making an excuse for Wing Chun. It's just the easiest thing I can give you a relationship to is like a boxing match.
Type thing, everybody doing, yeah.
Boxing more specifically. When you see two fighters squared up and then they're going at it, it's round 6, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, somebody's eating canvas and they're out. And you didn't even see the punch until they show the slow-mo.
What?
Damn, man. Didn't know it could be that technical, that quick, that beautiful. The other problem in Wing Chun is we
forgot to pay the light bill.
So much on the counter attack that people expect to see.
Why would you think the lights off?
Here, the bong sao, the tan sao, the pak sao, the jum sao, the jut sao. We expect to see these movements that are then continued by our attack. That automatically puts you a beat behind the movement. If you're waiting for something to come in, then you answer it or address it and attack off there. A, you defeat the purpose.
You see somebody No, you see somebody in the back.
The beat behind the movement. You're already late to the party, man. So this is always when people like, and it's a very famous saying here all the time. You know, if bad Wing Chun looks good, it's for the movies, and bad Wing Chun looks good, it's for the movies. But good Wing Chun looks violent. It's a mess, man, but it's effective. Oh, let's check this out.
Oh yeah.
MMA fight went over
I got
the
y'all
before
in a
the
minute.
fight. Do you have any questions?
I got
Do you have
y'all
any
at
questions?
8:30.
Okay, touch gloves if you'd like. To your corners.
I don't do anything
Are you
wrong.
ready? Fight, you
You're
ready?
gonna have to take the blame. It's not your stuff. You're not human. You're not. What are you talking about?
Hands up, man.
What is you talking about, y'all?
There you go.
That was bland.
He would have knocked him out if that landed.
Let's go back off of that exchange for a second because it wasn't that bad. Now, I'm not trying to insult anybody. Who the hell am I kidding? Yes, I am. If I fought tomorrow, it would look like a pile of shit. I'm old. I'm 50, and I'm out of shape. And I couldn't go. They've been going in like a minute? No, they've been going longer than that. So they started at 1 minute, and you're already at, dude, 15 seconds, I think.
But I never seen you at the shelves.
Number two, this is like,
That video is
it's
now on
amateur
pay-per-view.
fighting,
Go
so
get
you're
it.
gonna get what you pay for, right? You're not gonna see a lot of power. You're not gonna see a lot of skill. You're not gonna see a lot of aggression. You're seeing
Start for the
guys, this looks like
plug.
a good, healthy exchange of
Video
sparring. That's what this
is
looks
now on
like.
pay-per-view.
But let's go back this for a second and talk about the Wing Chun that we see. Now this looks very relaxed. It's very relaxed. It's a very controlled environment, which is number one. It's not a fight. It's not a fight. If your heartbeat isn't pounding in your chest and you are not like a little bit of an adrenaline dump, you're not in a fight. You're in a controlled environment, and you're not gonna produce the type of quality fight that really is essential for being pressure testing. I like his stance. I like that he takes pressure. I like that he actively tries to, gauge his Wing Chun. But look at the energy he's fed with. It is very telegraphed. You can tell these guys are amateurs. It's very a safe. I don't know, slower than I would expect being fed a punch from a professional.
Are you ready? Let's go.
Yeah, you're telling it. I like it. Okay, whatever. He does some stuff. He moves back. Okay, great.
Hands up, man.
I like the fact that he tries to connect with his longest weapon, his leg. I don't like kicking. And then immediately follows up with a strike, even though it's kind of, it's all right. Once again, you get that kicking that shows you when you kick, you're off balance. You're off balance. Watch him lose his balance. You kick and then your arms do this because you have to maintain balance. I don't like kicking for that reason.
There you go.
He's trying to say I'm the best rapper. Appreciate that.
Good! That was
I
Wing
think I'm the
Chun.
best rapper.
Every
alive.
kick is a step. And you have to watch. He does exactly what I like to see in Wing Chun. He uses the kick, and after the kick lands or misses, he steps in and continues with an attack. Watch. Kicks, boom. There you go. Okay, that was a good attempt at a bong sound. Watch his right hand. Right there. Right there. I gotta pause the end. Look at that. That's a good attempt at a bong sao. For recovery's sake, this is about the closest I've ever seen a bong sao almost legitimately used in a proper way. I'm not unimpressed so far. It's actually pretty good to see. What they're lacking is intensity. Okay, great. I can't get it, but so far I'm liking that he is actually putting some Wing Chun concepts into play. The biggest one so far is that turning that contact with the kick into a step and then stepping in with some punches. That was beautiful. It was fucking beautiful. Trevor Gonsau. Now this is what usually happens when close quarter combat gets to be too much. You resort to a longer weapon because it's safe. So all of a sudden Wing Chun goes out the window and he starts using like Taekwondo and Karate. I like that, the bridging. Watch what he does. I don't know if he meant to do that intentionally. Watch as the older guy goes ahead and sticks out a jab. He bridges with a bill cell. Right, look at this. So right here, going up into a bill cell, he shoots it right up. Again, I am not unimpressed so far. I would like to see some more smothering.
Back to the scrub.
Now he just found out that fighting is real. So you could tell, right, when again, it's a friendly exchange of oh, you just did a back fist technique. You can tell these guys they're not aggressively fighting right now. They're just exchanging, to be honest. But you can watch when he takes a couple leg kicks, it kind of wakes him up a little bit. He's like, ooh, that's bone on bone contact. That doesn't feel too good.
Back to the scrub.
Ouch. Yeah.
Good. Okay, fight.
Big fight, y'all. Big fight, y'all.
There's the bladed stance now. Once you wind up getting tagged, groin shot, and all of a sudden you're gonna default to the settings of what we do for protection, right? Stand bladed, and that's why it's like I'm not a fan of the leg up for kicking. You open yourself up, but if you turn your knees in a little bit, you're gonna wind up cutting off that angle of attack for a groin kick.
Come on.
Facing was good. Watch him face again. He's off. He has a weak side to where he's going to be potentially flanked, and when he goes into the tie up for a headlock, he turns and faces. He doesn't commit to it. Here's it. Now, remember I said this in the other video. This is a perfect example when I was talking about the video I posted just the other day, where when you're in Wing Chun, look what happens when you go up the face and you straighten out their structure. You uproot their spine. This guy right here is applying what I would like to see more Wing Chun people do when they're in clinch. I would like to see it a little bit hand out to the side, up the face more, but that's a perfect tactic for anti-grappling right there.
Sometimes a man must overcompensate for his lack of sweat. Old Spice.
Affairs motto is to care for him who shall have borne the battle. Since 1865, that's been the country's promise. But a new Inspector General report raises serious doubts about whether the VA has enough staff to keep it. Dr. Celine Gounder joins me now to explain what's going on here. So, Celine, we've heard the struggles of the VA for years now, but according to this report, it's actually gotten worse.
This is serious and it's getting worse. The VA Inspector General estimates that across all 139 VA medical centers, there are severe staffing shortages, and these staffing shortages have gotten 50% worse over the last year. And this is even before we've seen the summer buyouts, people leaving voluntarily, so things are probably even tighter at this moment.
For its part, what's the VA got to say about this?
Well, so we reached out to the VA and they do dispute the vacancy figures. They sent us a statement saying the report simply lists occupations facilities feel are difficult for which to recruit and retain. So the results are completely subjective, not standardized, and unreliable.
Secretary of the VA also defending this by saying there's a nationwide shortage of medical workers in general. Is that part of this whole thing here? Is that a factor?
Well, that is true. There aren't enough doctors, clinicians to go around everywhere, and the U.S. is projected to be short about 86,000 physicians by 2036. Behavioral health and primary care are major areas of shortage across the country as well as within the VA.
There's a new plan in Congress to expand this access to non-VA care. Privatization, that's been talked about before. Would that solve some of this? Would that help?
Well, if you don't have
Yo, Carlsberg, gay free, I don't know what you're talking about.
This is gun and water. It's going to rust. Thank God we got the ETK before it rusted because we need to use it. We also need to
Affairs motto is to care for him who shall have borne the battle. Since 1865, that's been the country's promise. But a new Inspector General report raises serious doubts about whether the VA has enough staff to keep it. Dr. Celine Gounder joins me now to explain.
September.
For me, that everyone has the potential to give something back. That everyone in need deserves a supporting hand in life.
In the world of the British monarchy, secrets are currency, and silence is power. But every so often, something breaks through the walls of tradition and changes the story forever. This was one of those moments. When Prince William stumbled
Appreciate you,
upon
man.
his late mother,
Appreciate you for
Princess
subbing.
Diana's
Appreciate you for
final
subbing.
letter,
I be trying to go
a
hard.
message sealed away for decades. It set in motion a chain of events that no royal aid could control. The words were personal, raw, and filled with truths that many had fought to bury. And when William chose to share them with the world, it became the moment that shook the monarchy and left Queen Camilla facing the one outcome she never thought possible: being cast out. The unearthed letter. It began in the quiet of a winter morning at Kensington Palace. William had been sorting through old personal effects with a trusted archivist, a task he rarely had time for but had promised himself he would finish before the year's end. Most of the boxes were filled with photographs, handwritten notes from state visits, and mementos from his early years. Then, tucked inside a faded leather-bound journal that once belonged to his mother, he found it. An envelope with his name written in Diana's unmistakable handwriting. The ink had faded slightly, but the careful curve of the letters was still as familiar as the smile he remembered. His breath caught. For a long moment, he just held it, tracing the edges with his thumb. The archivist, sensing the shift in his expression, quietly stepped back, leaving him alone in the dim light of the study. William turned the envelope over. The seal was unbroken. Across the back, in small, deliberate letters, were the words, "For William, when the time is right." His pulse quickened. Memories of his mother's warmth flooded in. The way she would bend to speak to him at eye level. Her laugh that could cut through even the most formal palace event. The way she always seemed to understand what he was feeling before he said a word. But mixed in with the nostalgia was an ache. Why had this letter been hidden? Who had decided when the time would be? He slid a finger beneath the seal and opened it carefully. Inside was a single sheet of stationery, the royal crest faint but visible at the top. The handwriting was hers, slanted and elegant, The first line made his chest tighten. My darling William, if you are reading this, then I was right. The truth could not be kept from you forever. He stopped there, staring at the words,
You're handsome.
afraid to read on.
Thank you.
Outside the window, snow was beginning to fall on the gardens, the flakes clinging to the bare branches. It was as if time had slowed, the palace holding its breath with him. He took in a deep breath and continued reading, his eyes moving quickly now, devouring every word. With each sentence, it became clear this wasn't just a mother's love letter to her son. It was a warning, a confession, and at its core, it was about Camilla. By the time he reached the end, William's hands were trembling. The final line was short, but it carried a weight that rooted him to the spot. When you stand as a man, remember this: not everyone who smiles beside you wishes you well. He folded the letter back into the envelope and sat in silence. Somewhere deep down, he knew his life and the life of the royal family had just changed. William's private reading. That night, long after the palace corridors had gone quiet, William sat alone in his private study. The fire crackled in the hearth, casting long shadows across the room. On the desk before him lay the letter, its envelope still bearing the faint scent of old paper and time. He had read it once earlier in the day, but now, in the stillness, he felt compelled to reread it, this time slowly, letting each word settle in. He poured himself a glass of water and took a seat in the leather chair by the window. The letter felt heavier than it should, as if the weight of his mother's voice had been sealed into the very fibers of the paper. He unfolded it carefully, smoothing it flat on the desk, and began to read from the top. My darling William, it began again, and he imagined her voice, warm and steady, the way she used to speak to him when the world outside their bubble felt too loud. If you are reading this, then my instincts were right. Life in the palace can be a stage where actors don't always reveal the script. I want you to have mine. She wrote of her fears, not for herself, but for her sons. She spoke of loyalty, trust, and the subtle ways it could be eroded when power and ambition were at play. And then came the part that made him sit back, his heart thudding harder. She spoke of Camilla. I have tried to keep my heart open to those around me, but there are some whose presence carries shadows, she wrote. You may one day be asked to accept her as family. If you do, tread carefully. Her charm is a mask, and beneath it lies a will as unyielding as stone. I have felt it press against me, and I fear you will too. The words struck him with the force of a truth he had known but never wanted to face. William had worked for years to maintain civility, to bridge divides, to keep peace for the sake of the monarchy and his family. But here, in black ink on cream paper, was his mother's unfiltered view, and it was a view that cast a long shadow over the woman who now held the title of queen. He reread the last lines, his throat tightening. When the time comes, you must decide not only what is best for the crown, but what is best for your heart. And remember, love is not always loud. Sometimes it is the quiet insistence to protect what cannot protect itself. William set the letter down and leaned back in his chair. Outside, the snow had stopped, leaving the garden still and white.
We want to talk
He
about
felt the
what?
weight of choice pressing against him. His mother had written these words decades ago, but they had found him now, at a moment when their meaning could not be ignored. Somewhere deep inside, he knew he could not keep them to himself. Not anymore. The letter's contents. The next morning, William woke earlier than usual. Sleep had been elusive, his mind replaying every sentence of his mother's handwriting in perfect clarity. The letter was still on the desk where he had left it, but now it seemed to draw him in, demanding that he reread it. This time he decided to take notes, not because he wanted to analyze her words like a document, but because he felt they needed to be preserved in a way that no fire, flood, or political decision could erase. He picked up his pen and underlined the first paragraph, where she spoke of palace life as a stage. He knew exactly what she meant. Years of engagements, charity events, and state visits had taught him that smiles could be rehearsed and warm gestures could be calculated. But something was chilling about the way she framed it, as if she had seen the danger in the performance long before anyone else had. Further down, she described the loneliness she often felt, even when surrounded by people. William paused there. He remembered how she would sometimes retreat into the garden at Kensington Palace, her head bowed, her hands deep in her coat pockets. Millions had loved her, yet she had been one of the loneliest people he knew. Then came the section about Camilla. The words were measured, not cruel, but they carried a weight of caution that William could feel in his bones. She spoke of charm that was never without purpose, of influence that could bend the most steadfast intentions. "I hope I am wrong," she had written, "but I fear that she will one day have the ear of those who shape your path. And if that day comes, remember to listen twice as hard to your own heart." It wasn't just a warning about Camilla as a person. It was a warning about power and the way it could shape decisions that were meant to be personal into matters of state.
The king's wife.
His mother had understood that the monarchy was as much
His
about
mom got killed.
perception
She was the
as
queen.
it was about duty, and she feared that the wrong influence could shift that balance in ways that would leave lasting scars. Near the end of the letter, her tone shifted. It became softer, almost tender, as she wrote about his role as a brother. She urged him to protect Harry, to ensure that neither of them would be swallowed whole by the institution. "The crown may rest on one head, but its weight is shared by those who love you," she wrote. Those words stirred something in him, a reminder that beyond titles and tradition, family was the only thing that mattered. The final paragraph was the one that left him staring at the page for a long time. She wrote, "If you ever feel that truth is being buried, remember that sunlight will always find its way in. And if you must be the one to open the shutters, do it with courage, for the world will not thank you until long after you are gone." William set the letter down and leaned forward, resting his elbows on the desk. It was not just a private message from a mother to a son. It was a manifesto. It was a call to action. And it was a mirror, reflecting every moment of doubt he had tried to push aside over the years. He knew now that reading it in private was no longer enough. Her words had to be heard, not in whispers, not through leaks.
Was they together, Tommy? Huh?
Or you ain't listening?
I was listening. I'm trying to figure out what that. I missed the
That
part.
was his mom was a king, was a queen.
And he ain't trust his own mama.
The damn Lady Camilla, after she got killed, Camilla damn was the queen now.
Yeah.
The mama said don't trust her. See, that's the guy that damn they brought back. Kill him all.
Ice speed to what?
Agrel Garcia.
Yeah. He said they saw someone driving in the ocean.